We're here at the Woodstock Fruit Festival, and I'm here with Tim Van Orden. He's a champion runner, and tell us some things that you've won over the years. These are incredible. He's got if you go to his webpage, is it runningraw.com? It's like huge. It's like won this. It just goes on and on. I've never seen that. I don't even think Michael Arnstein's is that long.
Well, I competed from 2006 to 2013, and I tried to do a race a week. So sometimes I would do more than one race a week, so it averaged about 40 to 50 races a year, every year for about 7 years. And in that time, I won 10 U.S. titles. I was named the U.S. Masters Runner of the Year 4 times by USA Track and Field. I was 4th at the World Stair Climbing Championships, 10th at the World Snowshoe Championships, 8th at the Masters Mountain Running Championships for the world. So accomplished a lot just to prove that a raw diet is sufficient, that you're not going to be weak or sickly. And I'm getting older, so it's not as if this works for kids. In my mid-40s, I accomplished most of these things, and on a raw vegan diet to disprove the naysayers.
And some of these things that you've done, like that staircase thing, how many stories up is the one that you did in Chicago?
Well, yeah, you're from the Chicago area. So the Sears Tower, which is now called the Willis Tower, was the tallest building in North America until they built the Freedom Tower in New York City. It's 105 stories.
105 stories. I know I kind of get out of breath just going up a couple stories. I don't even know how you do it, really. I mean, how much training did you put, like, stepping on steps?
The Stairmaster and those kind of things really don't translate. I do a lot of mountain running, like I run up the mountains in Vermont. I will do lots of squats, like ridiculous amounts of squats, like sets of 300. I will do, not 300 pounds, but 300 squats. And just lots of aerobic running, like often 120 miles a week, just to build a huge aerobic capacity. And then put the leg strength on top of that. And lots of cycling, but standing up out of the saddle in a really hard gear. So you're really pushing out of the saddle on your bike.
And what's an average day for training? Say, what's an average hard day?
Well, I'm injured now, so it's different. I'm still training, but before I got injured, I would train anywhere. A light day was an hour. Mm-hmm. And I trained 7 days a week. I would not take a day off. So a light day would be an hour, and a hard day would be 4 hours.
4 hours.
So that would often include about 3.5 hours of running, and then doing squats, doing other types of leg strength, cycling, spin bike, things like that. So the combination, a good hard day would be 4 hours.
4 hours. 4 hours. And what's your diet like? I know it's been kind of controversial. People are like, "Oh, it's so low calorie and you're undercarbed and all this other stuff," but you're still you got the records to prove it that you did this.
Well, yeah, that's the whole point. Yeah, there are a lot of people that talk the talk, but they don't necessarily walk the walk. Right. And they say this works for everybody. Yeah. Well, that's simply not true. We're all different. We're all individual. I think a raw diet is great. I think a vegan diet is great. But within those diets, there are some tweaks that need to be made for each person. Yeah, exactly. And my body is really efficient at using calories, using energy. So when I eat, my body uses all of it. If I'm not active, it'll turn to fat. I'm one of those people that can put on fat really easily.
Same thing.
Yeah, so if I'm not working out a lot, I'm going to put on fat. And when I am working out a lot, my body is using all the calories. Some people can eat 5,000 calories and not gain an ounce of weight. I'm not one of those people. So they have very inefficient metabolism. I have very efficient metabolism. So I ate an appropriate amount of calories for the work that I was doing. And my performance improved. It didn't decline.
And how many calories did it range from say an average day that you weren't doing much to a heavy,
It would go from 1,500 to 3,000 calories, but I would top out at 3. If I went beyond 3,000 calories, I would feel sick. I just would not feel well at all.
Oh, going over 3,000?
Yeah, that's about my max.
Sometimes, people are like, you need to eat 5,000 calories and then you'll get some mass and you'll get stronger and everything. I did that for months at a time, and I felt sluggish. Yeah. My ellipse actually went down, and I got fatter. So, and that's eating a mostly fruit-based diet. So,
Yeah.
and Tim eats pretty much the same way. What's an average day for food for you?
Well, there are always variations, but an average
Yeah.
day starts with a green smoothie. That's about a liter of green smoothie. You got kale, bananas, blueberries, dates, chia. I've been having some chia these days. Then I nibble on fruit throughout the day, and then have a giant salad at night with avocado and sometimes even some olive oil. Some really high quality
A
olive
little bit
oil.
of nutritional yeast too.
Some nutritional yeast,
Yes.
coconut aminos,
Mm.
lots of grated vegetables, but smoothie, nibble on fruit, big salad with lots of fat.
Avocados. Do you eat any nuts and seeds?
I do, but
I mean,
not
besides
that
the chia
often.
seeds?
Not that often.
I noticed that with a lot of runners, and I was just telling Tim about the study and how they're finding that with marathoners, that some of the fiber, this raffinose fiber they find in harder vegetables like kale, not kale, but cabbage and things like that, broccoli. That and they did a study on pistachios, and then what they found out is that it leaks into the bloodstream during heavy, intense workouts, and it could cause oxidative damage. It can ruin your immune system, and their running went down. So, a lot of people on the raw food diet. They're like, oh, I don't like to eat heavy foods like nuts, seeds, and cruciferous vegetables often.
I did have an experience. I was in Las Vegas giving a talk, and the person that was hosting me was dehydrating tons of nuts. That's predominantly what they had in their house. And I had the option to go out and eat or eat what they were doing. So they sprouted the nuts and then dehydrated. And I'm like, oh, I don't really eat nuts. But they're like, oh, these are really good. Try them. And I ended up eating a lot because I was hungry. So once you put a few in your mouth, it's like, okay.
I've done that too.
And I thought, oh, man, I'm going to be in trouble. And then I went for a run, and I was fine. I couldn't believe it. So normally when I was doing nuts, sometimes I would sprout them, sometimes I wouldn't. But I hadn't never dehydrated them after sprouting them, and that seemed to work. And I didn't really have.
So you think the sprouting is maybe the
You're
missing
definitely
link?
removing some of the anti-nutrients and the enzyme inhibitors, and
I can see that. And I got to try that with my flax crackers because I if I eat more than a little thing of flax crackers, I'm farting all day. It's terrible. Yeah, flax. Oh my god! In cruciferous vegetables, I have a hard time digesting those, and I'm farting day and night. That's not very good. If you're doing deadlifts and you're taking video and you're farting. I mean, you don't want to be known as the farting Criterion or anything.
especially when you're in a deep squat.
Yeah. Yeah. So, do you take any supplements?
I do on occasion.
Yeah.
Not consistently,
Mhm.
but I live in Vermont.
Yeah.
You live in the Chicago area. So in the winter,
Try vitamin D.
we're not getting sunlight. So I've started taking a vitamin D.
That's smart.
And you can go to a tanning bed as well.
Yeah, that's what I've done.
It's probably better for you to go to the tanning bed than it is to take a supplement. But where I live, we don't have that option. And then on occasion, I take B12.
That's good. I think everybody should be taking that, whether you're vegan or not.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And another, okay, I'm gonna bring it out. I was debating about asking this question. Now, who would win in a race? Michael Arnstein, you, Ted Carr, or Harley Johnstone, aka Durianrider?
Well, there's a lot of people
Oh,
talking.
let me give you something else too. Tim has Lyme disease at the moment. I got it twice. I didn't know you could get it multiple times. So he's not actually, I guess totally up to par from what he did in the past. So I would say in your prime. And who would? Because I would pay to see that race. I think that would be like the ultimate race.
Well, it's all about sports specificity. It's training. And then there's genetics, and you bring a genetic component to the table. Then you have the sports-specific training and the amount of that training that you're doing.
Maybe like a 5K. I think that 5K would be like that would because everybody seems like most of these guys they train you included. You train mostly marathons, half marathons, and stuff, but usually not a lot of 5Ks.
No, you need to do a lot of speed work.
Yeah.
And speed work is not my thing. I do more intense strength than speed work, like lots of hills.
Yeah.
But running on the track flat, So my PR I think is like 15:32. Without doing the speed work.
Jeez, that's like,
So
what is that, like 5 minutes?
it's about 5 minute pace. Yeah.
That's madness.
And I think Mike Arnstein is also. I think he might be like 15:30.
Ooh.
So like in a 5K, our times are very close.
Yeah.
I think Harley is like 16:10. I think is.
That's still
fastest.
pretty
It's
close.
pretty fast. Yeah.
You never know. You might get to the track and it might be, just the luck, the luck. That's also another thing to put in the factory. Just because you train, you got your diet right and everything, go there and you might not do as well for whatever reason. So
Yep.
I know there's a couple times you ran. I remember one time you did a race and you kind of like bonked out somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think you're ready for the race. There's all kinds of variables and factors, just like a lift. You think you're ready for the lift, and it's not there.
No.
It's like, but why isn't it there? I'm ready.
I slept, I ate, I did everything else. I should be able to do this. But then other days, I'm like, I feel crappy, and now I'm able to lift crazy amounts of weight.
One of the fastest 5Ks I ever ran, and this is something, I use this as a lesson when I coach people. It was a kids race, and I thought, okay, the benefits, the money from the race is going to benefit some kids organization.
Yeah.
What I didn't realize is there were going to be like 500 kids in the race,
Yeah.
like little kids. And I lined up in the front, and the race director comes over, no, the kids line up in the front.
Oh.
So it was like a sea of children,
Oh.
right, running through the streets of downtown Los Angeles, and I'm like, oh, crap. So for the first quarter mile, or maybe even 4/10 of a mile, we're like trying to slowly weave through kids without knocking them down.
Yeah.
So I'm running really slowly. So I'm like, okay, whatever. This race is not going to go anywhere. And it was the day after I'd just done a huge stair climb, an 80-story stair climb race. So I thought, my legs are shot. The kids are, I'm running the first 3/10 of a mile really slowly.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'll just relax and be comfortable. So I finally got through the kids, and I picked up the pace, running real smooth, running real comfortable, ended up winning. And it was like 15:38.
Wow.
Which is, close to my fastest time.
That's
and
crazy.
So you never know. It's like starting slowly, starting easily, starting comfortably, and not having the pressure on yourself can often produce your biggest results. But when you go thinking you have to win, I might have run, 15:50.
And do you have any mental prep work? I mean, when you're doing these races, you're in pain. Yeah. You're in a lot of pain. Like you've done 50 miles, right?
Longest I've done is 50K.
Yeah.
I'm bow-legged, so I can't. The long races, my knees just.
But you're definitely in pain for these races.
For the whole race.
What do you think about it? Is it just like a competition? These guys are doing it, I'm doing it, and I'm going to do this.
Well, that's the interesting thing. You ask, who would win in a race between, Mike, Ted, Harley, and me. Yeah. And I don't ever approach a race like that. I'm there to beat someone.
Yeah.
I'm there knowing that I've done the training.
Yeah.
I've busted my ass. And if you're going to be with me, competing with me in the race, then I know you've done the training too.
You're always competing against yourself too.
Yeah.
Getting a better time every single time. And same thing with powerlifting. I don't go there going, I don't sign up to a powerlifting meet or something. Oh, I'm going to beat this guy. It's just like, I just want to do the best thing I can do.
Well, and you often need the other person to do that.
Yeah, and iron sharpens iron.
Yeah.
So I mention these people not because because I want to get people against each other, because I think they're like the best of the best. Ted Carr just won a competition for triathlon. Harley's done 24-hour bike races. Michael Arnstein's a legend with that 50 miles and 100 miles at a time. I mean, these are legendary feats that it's hard for me. I do a 6-minute mile and I'm cashed. I'm out.
Well, you're carrying a lot more muscle.
Yeah, but still, I would like to get into the Army to get 100% in the fitness test. 18 minutes for 3 miles.
Okay.
That'd be nothing for you, but I mean, for me, that would knock me out.
I'm gonna put him on a training program. We're gonna get him into the 17. I
could do it. I mean, give it to me, and I'll put I'll switch my squats and my deadlifts to just one time a week, and then I'll fill it in with the running.
No, you can still do the squats.
Because I've known a ultra runner who is a powerlifting athlete too, and he does really good in both worlds. So doing 50 miles, and I mean, how is it possible? It's crazy.
The guy on my team, he won. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago. He won the U.S. 50K Masters Championships.
Mm-hmm.
He's in 190 pounds of solid muscle.
Jeez.
The guy's a Hulk.
Yeah.
And he won the 50K U.S. Championship for Masters. And he's competing against guys who are 150 and 120 pounds.
That's a lot of weight to carry around.
So you can be strong and still have endurance. Strength doesn't preclude endurance.
Oh, and before I forget, I just thought of something. I've been taking a lot of adaptogenic herbs recently, just to try it out, just get because I read these studies and there's testimonies and everything.
What kind of stuff?
Rhodiola. That's one thing you tried. I know we were talking before, but I wanted to just ask you a little bit more about that. And you said I tried ashwagandha, I tried holy basil, Srinandra berry, I think that's how you say it. There's probably a couple more, but you haven't found any. Is there anything like any type of food or anything that's just like, oh man, I have that, and just like it just takes me to the next level?
Well, the thing about performance, say you watch an Olympic race.
Yeah.
For instance, the 5K championships at the Olympics, 5,000 meters. You watch the people finish the race.
Yeah.
Almost none of them collapse. Almost none of them. The winner will run, they'll cross the finish line, they throw their arms up, they go grab a flag, and then they run around the stadium.
Yeah.
They don't even look like they're breathing.
Huh.
So, performance, I think, is much more about your mind than it is about your body. You can take something that might give you a 1% performance boost, but if you're not there mentally, it doesn't matter. I think the mental game that you bring is so much more important than the physical. And you got all these guys spending $15,000 on bike equipment and getting their butts kicked because it's not the equipment, it's not so much the training is important, but it's the mind.
Having a reason to do it too. And you had a reason just from the get-go for the proving that you could do this on a raw food diet, because a lot of people, there's this anthropologist, I don't know if you've ever seen him, he made a book called Catching Fire, and his premise is that you won't be able to get enough calories on a raw food diet, because you won't be able to extract calories, because cooking gave us more calories. But you guys, Michael Arnstein, Ted Carr, Harley, and you guys are pushing that limit. You need that calories in you. Or a decent amount of calories
enough,
to do these things, and you guys prove that point beyond a shadow of a doubt. And you guys are not like anorexic or anything. You guys are like you're burning that through for like 50 miles at a time. So I thought that was
the diet works.
Yeah,
and it allows you. The biggest thing about the diet is not so much that it gives you endurance, but it allows you to recover faster.
Yeah.
And that's what steroids do. That's what doping does. It allows you to recover from hard work faster. So it's not like you say, "Oh, Lance Armstrong was doping." Yeah, that just allowed him to work harder. So he still did the work.
Yeah, they should. I don't know. In my opinion, maybe they should just let go of the drug testing and just if they want to do that, they want to push the human envelope for doing these stunts. Let them do it.
And if they're willing to take the risks,
that's huge. That's huge risk.
Risk.
You might lose your balls and get severe acne. Some of these guys are doing these powerlifting things. This guy Pete Rubish, I watched a video on him. He has such severe acne. He had to get skin grafts after this. Skin grafts, and he had gynecomastia. Or not him, but he didn't get it, luckily. But other people got gynecomastia surgery multiple times because they want to push this envelope for bodybuilding, power sports, and everything like that. And God, I think we covered it all. So next year, we're doing Woodstock next year.
Yes, we are.
So yeah, it was kind of a big. People were like debating about that. Mike Arnstein, he wanted at least 200 people before we could do another one, because last year people didn't sign up to the a month before it, and we can't do that. And it's just too much stress on Mike, and he needs to pay for things even before the festival, before it comes up. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Another year. I was actually gonna, pay for. They were actually gonna sell the weight equipment that I brought over here all the way from Chicago, because they bought it for me, and they're gonna sell the whole thing. And I thought this was it.
Wow. So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Why should people come to the Woodstock Fruit Festival?
Why they should come?
Why should you sign up in the next week and a half to get the discount?
Well, I think the first thing you get the education, you can pick all our brains and learn the diet. If you're one of the main things, people are stuck in in ruts and that have a lot of bad habits. Well, when you come here, you can make that change easily because there is no option to do anything else. I mean, I guess you could drive in, half an hour and get a pizza or something, but you're here. You've spent $1,000 or $800,000. I don't know how much it costs, but you came here and you're eating this awesome food. I would just come for I would come for the food. I would come for the all the lectures. Learn how to run faster, lift better, tie-dye better, and all these get to know people who are doing these the similar diet than us. There just isn't many people out there, and we need to keep this going. And that's one of the reasons why we're keeping the Woodstock Fruit Festival going, because we want the community to grow of people, and just to see, just knowing that other people, just knowing that this fruit festival exists, helps other people around us. Yeah. So, like you said, you had there's a couple people that you met just down the street that wasn't part of the fruit festival, and they were so excited that it was right here, and they didn't even know it, and
they showed up to check it out.
Yeah, just being here is kind of like a statement that we could feed 700 people on fruits and vegetables, and it doesn't. I mean, it takes some time to prep all that stuff. I mean, you just slice watermelon and stick a spoon in it, but we do more things than just eating just straight up fruit. I mean, they made cinnamon rolls. Those things are so good, and ice cream. Ice cream, the sleeping. There's so much to do. People are. That's one of the main complaints. We have so much to do here that designing a schedule. By the way, the very first Woodstock, I went to 35 different lectures, all about this diet and lifestyle. Yeah, I went to every one, and I, ate some food and went to, because I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn what this whole thing was about and just get better at what I'm doing. So, and with the habit thing, to install, to break a bad habit, you have to install a good one. And I think this is the place to start, right here.
And to be immersed in a community that is going to have the experience. Like, here's how I'm succeeding, and here's where I failed. Yeah. And you're not just getting it from one person, you're getting it from hundreds of people.
Yeah, and you're seeing hundreds of people do it, too, right in front of you. We have all the food there, so you don't even have to think about it. We have, the salad buffets, and it's fantastic. And they took all the guesswork out of it. You don't have to get the recipes. And by the way, you can take all the recipes home with you. They list all the ingredients. You can just take a snap pic. There's this girl there. She was taking all the pictures. She's like, when I get home, I wanna do this when I get home. So, I'm really looking forward to next year. Tim, that was an awesome interview, and I look forward to seeing you next year, man.
Fruit and strength,
yeah. All right, man. Awesome. Cool. That was good.
Sweet.
Yeah, man. That was a good